Welcome to the TransForum. The great issues of our day demand clarity, and today we will be addressing the question, how do we create long-term prosperity for the largest number of people?
Welcome to the TransForum. This is Dennis Peacock again, and we're talking about the economy, who really is to blame. And the principle that we're dealing with here is that economic rights have economic responsibilities. That is an equation. You know, the Democrats, if we're going to go after them first, we have your friend and mine, Nancy Pelosi and Barney Franks, and their leadership in the prior administration over Freddie and Fannie. And the main idea there was that everybody is entitled in America to own a home. Now, that's a great idea. There's only one problem. Not everybody in America has got the financial or the stewardship skills to own a home, let alone make the payments on it. And the main event relative to that idea is that when you combine the greed from the conservative side of society with this idea that everybody's entitled to a home, you had a perfect storm. Added to that is the whole issue on the left of the TARP program, which all of us know is basically a social agenda. It's a budget for social issues far more than a budget that is actually going to change the financial betterment of the culture, let alone the economy. And that's clear. We've talked about that a lot. We'll talk about it in the future, not the least of which is the fact that even the official agencies of the government said that only 11-12% of that TARP money was in any way directed towards strengthening the economy. And then on the right, we have the Republicans. Now, again, in Washington, D.C., it's a common joke. There's two parties there, the evil party and the stupid party. And the Republicans certainly have qualified many times over for the stupid party. And there's a lot of talk right now about, well, President Obama really didn't cause the problem. It all really came under Mr. Bush. And certainly President Bush gave a new meaning to conservative economics and ran major deficits. Now, a lot of that had to do with the Iraq War, but not all of it. There was cost cutting that he certainly didn't do. Now, the so-called right has the major responsibility that if they're going to proclaim that the free market or the mixed economy is the great gift, the great boon to civilization, then they have to be responsible to hold the people that are driving the free market responsible for ethics and values that minimize greed and minimize making the system unfair. That certainly did not happen during President Bush's tenure. When you combine the fact that the left believes everybody has a right to a home, and you put greed the leverage levels that were going on in the markets, it was crazy. And again, it made a perfect storm. You know, if you want to believe that the free market really is everything we've cracked it up to be, then you're going to have to make sure that it functions not only fairly, but responsibly. The real culprit is the loss of values. The United States of America's value system from both the right and the left continues to deteriorate. And that's really what's showing up. It's not an economic problem anywhere as much as it's a values and an ethics problem. You know, the real culprits are those who on both the left and the right want to blame one another without taking real responsibility themselves. We're going to hear a lot more about where did all this problem come from, where did it really origin, was it the right, was it the left? The truth of the matter is it came from both sides of the spectrum. And that's why here on the TransForum, we want to urge you to begin to think in a new paradigm. We need a third way, a way that transcends the left-right game, that is constantly playing the blame game and never playing the responsibility game. Are you clear on the economic reality that rights and responsibilities have to balance out? This is the TransForum. Let's engage.